Ah! We are back. Welcome back to stream, y'all. Let's see if we got started, actually. Let's see. Okay. Hold that thought. We're gonna take our sweet time. Field of view, 75. Camera sensitivity, 7. No background opacity. Subtitle background opacity. We're gonna keep that a little bit less. There we go. That should be alright. Show it. Yeah, I want that. Yeah. I have terrible sight, so we're gonna put this at like 100. That should be okay. Show color labels. Show content warnings. No. Actually, yeah. Let's keep that on for YouTube. For YouTube purposes. All right, guys. Let's do audio. We're good. Controls. Okay. Apply. Apply. Okay. I have no idea what this game's about or anything about it. So we're going in blind.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh.
Stanley worked for a company where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And
that sounds abysmal.
Might have considered it soul-rending. Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
How happy?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses,
Welcome.
He got up from his desk
Glad
and
to have
stepped
you here.
out of his office.
We're playing the Stanley Parable, and I've never played this game before, and we are able to move. So if you missed anything, there's nobody at his office here. And this is Stanley's job, and we are Stanley.
Co-workers were gone.
Whoa.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Does Stanley not talk? Or is this narrator going to talk the whole game?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm entering a door on my right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Okay, I'm having fun. I'm having fun. Stanley was so bad at following
Look, Stanley,
directions.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Oh, okay.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
I don't know who you're talking about. For watching. Hey, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Oh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I don't know about this. It won't let me out. Yeah, let's pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd
Well,
want to
I could have
commit their
been
life
fooled.
to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Oh, really? Really? You asshole.
This is a very sad
Ooh,
story
fridge.
about the death of a man named Stanley.
What?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Oof.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind
If
his
you guys want to
desk,
comment
Stanley
anything or ask
dreamed
any
of wild
questions,
expeditions into the
I'm here to
unknown.
talk. I know I'm playing a
Fantastic
game, but I can
discoveries
talk to
of
chat
new
at the same time.
lands. It was
Y'all can
wonderful.
say whatever you want.
And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought
That's actually-
excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Whoa.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head, he relived it again, and then again, and again, over
Let me out.
and over.
Let me
wishing
out.
and hoped that it would never end. That
Let
he
me out,
might
goddamn
always
you, let
feel
me
he was
out.
Free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But
Alright.
there is no answer. How could there possibly be?
Oh.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one. And
If y'all
I'm
don't
trying
let
to
me
tell him
get
this,
out of
that
here,
in this world he
I
can never
swear to
be
God.
anything but an observer. That as long as
Let
he
me
remains
out.
here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Oh yeah, Sonic.
I suppose I can't.
I just got this
Not in
game
the
off
way
the
I want
PS
him
Plus
to.
thing.
But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not
It
so
was a free
different, I
game on PS
suppose.
Plus, so I decided to
I'll
get it and
try
play it.
once more
It
to
looked
convey all
interesting.
this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What? What happened? Stanley did not push a button. I'm back here again. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, this time we're going to actually listen to the narrator guy. See what happens.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
La-di-da-di-da. 6 watching? Welcome
Yet
to
there
stream,
was not a
y'all.
single
It's been a while
person
since I
here
had this many
either.
people in.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ah, yes, my boss's office.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
This is funny.
Amazing.
I like the narrator
He
guy.
stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh. I feel like if I didn't follow the narrator again, it would just lead to that one other outcome that, like, he'll just kill me, like he did before.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring
people are leaving.
of
No.
emotion in his chest.
Am
as
I
though
that
he felt
boring?
more free to think
Oh,
for himself,
man.
to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Whoa.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mind control facility or escape. Let's go mind control facility. See, it might lead to something interesting.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Whoa.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
We'll see, we'll see. I'm interested so far. I'm very interested. This game has my noodle firing in all different ways.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That's insane. What number was Stanley again? Like 427? I think that's it. That's crazy.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
That seems to be the case.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
We will decide our own fate, ladies and gentlemen. This kind of reminds me of my own job, like how employers control employees, like that dynamic. It's really horrible. But let's see what we can do about this. System power off or on? Chat. We're doing off. Lights out. Let's see where this goes.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Ooh.
Was it over?
Was it?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Yes.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Let's go, baby!
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game? Wait, we beat the game? Okay. Okay. So we managed to get outside the office. Now let's see what else we can
All
do.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
There are
Stanley
other places
decided to
we
go
can
to
go
the meeting
to.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There are other places we can go to.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Just to admire it. This place is
Wow.
awesome.
Yes, This room. What a beautiful room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Well, let's see. We're not going to follow the narrator
But
again.
Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, okay. No, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
No, hurry up! I ain't got all day.
Now, let's see. We went
Oh
down,
my gosh.
right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
All right.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just headed back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
That's fun. This is fun.
All of his co-workers were
This
gone.
is fun.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Huh?
No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
This office space reminds me of the back rooms. Did I mention that? This is crazy. Where the hell am I going? We're gonna have to find our way. I think this is a maze. I think this is a maze, y'all.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay. Let's go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe we missed the memo.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Yes. Let's keep it going, y'all. 420. Wait. Oh, that might be is that a mirror? Are we in a mirror dimension?
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Yes. Oh, this.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Woo! Let's
I
go!
know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
You're
Some
going back and
people win
forth.
fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
I should have won already.
Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Wait, we've only been playing for 25 minutes?
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
I was about to not follow the line, but let's see where the line goes.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Yes.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on.
Stop your yapping.
Back there? Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Better be royalty-free music.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
All right. Thanks, narrator.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Guess we don't have to follow the line anymore.
Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own.
Perhaps. Let's follow the line again. Welcome. That door's closed. Okay. We're playing the Stanley Parable, and this is definitely trippy. Ay.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Which way? I heard a door open. Oh, this one.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Whoa.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having
Why is the line
why is the line
having a line TM?
No lines or
is it trademarked?
rules. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
That line is all screwy.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that
I'm gonna walk the opposite way.
place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
You didn't open the other door. The confusion ending?
What's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times? That's really how all this goes?
You've been playing the confusion ending for 17 minutes?
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So...
That is very strange.
Okay.
Is Stanley schizophrenic? Is this all in his head?
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now.
Stop yapping and think of something.
Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Whoa.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's go to the meeting room, baby!
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively. Use slides to assure employees that everything is okay. This is a funny game. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Yeah. I mean, that's good. Yeah. Profits, 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 profits. Charts, slides, charts, and slides. Yes. Okay. We've had enough fun here. Let's continue.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh. Nice red light. Very foreboding.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting
Okay,
he had
guys,
left
content
his post
warning,
during
beware.
work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single
did I just
moment
go
for
in
no
the
reason at
circle?
all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Yes.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
We can't drive
His
the car.
co-workers weren't actually wrong. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself,
As a
"I
matter
suppose
of
I'll
fact,
wake up soon.
narrator,
I'll have to go
I
back
am
to my
crazy."
boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid." So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun,
Whoa.
and Stanley marveled that he had still
It's getting
not woken
darker.
up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words is quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Will it?
I am okay.
Whoa. And we're still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be
Screen's going
real. I
red.
must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my
Is
mind.
normal really the best thing to
I
be,
know
though?
what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to
Yeah.
think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
What do you want?
But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this. So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Why didn't she help him? Come on, man. Now we're back. Alright, I was making sure my mic was still working. 5 people watching! Let's go!
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
We're
he
having
had
fun.
simply missed a memo.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he simply missed a memo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do,
I wanted to see what would
Stanley
happen if
left from the
we just
platform
jumped
and
off the
plunged
platform.
to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Yeah! Stanley is a man of his own merit. He's a man of making his own
All of
decisions.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps. I wonder how long this game actually is.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Is there any way to save it?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find it. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We opened a door! Woohoo! How long? Alright. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
We're back here again.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nah.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Crazy. You're wrong. I'ma live.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Whoa. What is this?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Is this the end?
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Huh.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Is this female narrator gonna let me escape?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Narrator emails? More skeletons in this world than humans? Interesting detail. We're gonna go back. I'm assuming we have to go up these stairs. Stanley's office. Interesting.
At the top of the facility to end this injustice forever. Stanley stood on the roof. Stanley pushed the big red button.
What am I supposed to be doing here? I'm lost. Boss's office. screen, turn the development of the boss's office. Cool. Cool. Interesting. The office. It's like a museum of the game. Well, I'm still in the game. No doors on where I first came out of. So let's figure this out. You can't jump. Where was that black part where it said the Stanley Parable? Maybe if I go back there, it'll let me do something. Exit, there we go. Perfect. And the Stanley Parable. Whoa.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
I'm lost a little bit.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
How do you know I'm playing a
Forward, you'll be
PlayStation?
walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Sorry, female narrator. But I'm not ending stream yet.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Woohoo! New content, new content, new content.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Oh, nice.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Did Stanley agree to be
So
Ultra
far,
Deluxe
it's an
content?
elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yeah. Woohoo!
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Yes! Give us the content, Stanley Parable. The jump circle.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
We can't jump outside the jump circle. I'm gonna use all my jumps. Damn. That was cool, I guess.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Let's do it. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. Actually, let me make sure I can quit the game. Okay. Hopefully it'll let me continue my progress. Wait. Let's see. I just want to make sure. Okay, good. Good. Okay. Thanks for joining me, you guys. If you liked this video, please leave it. No, this isn't a video. If you like this stream, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot. I'm trying to get into doing more content. So, just stick with me. And, we're going to make 2025 a great year. See ya next time. Have a great day.